Alright, how's everybody doing today? Welcome back to another video, and in this video here today we're going to go ahead and do my full camera review for the cameras on the OnePlus Nord N100. So in this video here today, I'm going to go ahead and take y'all through everything that y'all need to know about the cameras on this device. Then we're going to go ahead and cut in the photo samples, and then we're going to finish up the video by cutting in the video samples. Now, as always with my full camera reviews, this video will be timestamped for your convenience, so please feel free to jump around to different parts of the video that you would like to know more about, especially when it comes to talking about the cameras on this device right here. That being said, without further ado, let's jump into the video. Now, starting off, before we get into talking about the software and some of the modes and features that the OnePlus Nord N100 cameras have, I just want to quickly take everyone through the ways that you can launch the cameras on your OnePlus Nord N100 device. Now, way number one, and this is pretty much an Android standard, is from the lock screen on your device, you can just quickly swipe up on the camera icon, and that will take you into the main camera interface page, right? Way number two, and I'm really liking the fact that this is becoming an Android staple as well, you can launch into the cameras by quickly double tapping the power button on your device. That will also take you into the main camera interface landing page. And way number three, which is pretty much an oldie but a goodie at this point, all you have to do is find the camera icon anywhere on your device. So whether it's in the app drawer or on any one of your home screens, you tap on it, and that will also take you into the main camera interface landing page. All right, so now let's go ahead and talk about the settings and some of the features on the OnePlus Nord N100 in terms of the cameras. So we're going to go through this stuff quick, fast, and in a hurry, and we're going to cover it from top to bottom, left to right. So starting off here, typically when you first launch into your OnePlus Nord N100 cameras, it's going to bring you to this page right here. Now, it will eventually remember what you use and open up to what you use last, okay? But when you first open the cameras, it's going to bring you to this photo section right here. And you can see across the top, we have flash controls. Pretty much self-explanatory. On, off, auto, or fill. Okay. And once you select what you want, it disappears. Then we got HDR controls, similar to the flash, on, off, auto. Then we have a scene detector. Okay. But alongside that, we also do have AI scene detection and optimization. Okay. Then right next to that, we have our live filters. So a variety of different live filters that you can use. And the nice thing is, we also have those live filters for video as well. So whether you want to use your live filters for photos and videos, you have a variety of different options there. Okay? So good stuff indeed. Then, right next to the filter controls, we got a quick hamburger menu that will take us to our additional settings. So you can see we have our aspect ratio settings. So 4:3, a 1:1 square, a full frame, so you could take full advantage of your display, use the whole display as a viewfinder, full frame, 16:9 cinematic widescreen, okay, and then we're back to the 4:3, okay. And one thing to remember is, based on your aspect ratio or your framing, you will be able to take advantage of the full 13 megapixel camera or the full 8 megapixel front facing camera. So it all depends on the aspect ratio that you decide to record in terms of photos and videos. Then right next to that, we got our timer controls. So 3 seconds, 10 seconds, or off. Okay? And we only have that timer for photos. We don't have a timer for videos. All right. And then we got our gear icon to take us into some additional sub settings. All right, we're going to cover that last. We're going to come back to that. Then directly below that, we got our main viewfinder. Okay. And then just below that, we got a live mode selected option. But just above that, we got a quick shortcut to punch us into 2 times on the primary camera. So it's pretty much just digitally cropping the image into 2 times zoom. All right. But just below that, again, because I was getting a little bit ahead of myself, we got all of our different modes for the camera. So to the far left, we got a video mode. Okay. This lets us take advantage of the full 13 megapixel rear facing camera. Okay. So you can see we got flash controls similar to the photo. We got live filters similar to photos. And then we got the gear to take us into our additional settings. Again, we're going to cover that last, so we're going to come back to that. Then we got our main viewfinder composition window. Okay, self-explanatory. Our punch in shortcut button. All right, so that goes over photos and videos. Then we also got portrait mode here for the rear as well as the front-facing camera. All right. So good stuff there, good stuff indeed. So we got portrait on the rear, we got portrait on the front. Then if we click on the more settings, we got access to our macro camera, which is a 2 megapixel macro camera. We can take panoramic photos and it will guide you through how to do that. So that's really nice. Then we can also do time lapse and we have a full dedicated pro photo mode. Okay, so you can really dial in the photos the way you want them to be, and we can control the ISO, the shutter speed, the white balance, the focus itself, and the overall exposure. So you can really dial in that really nice photo. Now, just so everyone is completely aware, when I took the photos for this video, I did it primarily in auto mode. Okay. And I was either using the auto mode or the portrait mode. All right. And you should be able to tell the clear difference between a auto mode photo and a portrait mode photo. So much so that I shouldn't even have to point it out. But this video was done in either auto mode or portrait mode. Okay. And it was done recording video in the 720p resolution and the max 1080p 30 FPS resolution with no external audio hooked up. So y'all can really see how the cameras on this device perform, and y'all can really get an overall good idea of how the onboard microphones on this device perform as well. Okay? So that pretty much takes you through the modes and the different features on the OnePlus camera. Now if we switch to the front-facing camera, you can see it's pretty much similar. So we could do time lapse, we could do pano with the front. We can also do portrait mode. We got our regular photos, which is self-explanatory. And we got our regular video. Now we also have beauty mode here, which I pretty much just turn off. Let me turn that back off. Don't mess with that beauty mode. At least I don't, but it's there if you want to use it. And y'all can see it does have face detection. So it detected my face in the frame and it's trying to keep my face in focus and properly exposed. So really nice feature there. Really nice feature indeed. Okay. So now we've officially went over all of that stuff. So let's go ahead and dive into, my bad, I didn't mean to jump out. Let's jump back in real quick. Didn't mean to jump out, my bad, y'all. Now let's go ahead and dive into some of the sub settings you can do with the cameras and the video. Let me go back into photo mode so we unlock all of that. And then let's jump back into the sub settings here. Boom. Now inside of here, it's divided into 3 general sub settings. So you got general, we got photo, and then we got video. All right. And inside of general, this is where you can control what your volume rockers do. So you can set it up to control the overall volume of the video. Or you can set it up to take a photo or start a video by setting it to shutter. or you can also set it up to where the volume rockers control the zoom. So this is really, really handy if you want to vlog and you want to use the primary camera, but you can't really see the viewfinder. So you line it up and you press the volume buttons to start the video, and you press the volume buttons to end the video. And this will be really helpful if you're trying to get a photo, but you want to zoom in a little bit before you really get close up to your subject. You can use the volume rockers for that as well. So really, really nice feature. And honestly, I use both of those. It really just depends on what I'm trying to do with the cameras. That decides what I set it to. But my absolute favorite is setting it to zoom, okay? Because I'm disabled and it's really hard for me to pinch to zoom. So using the volume rockers to zoom is probably one of my favorite features. Then you can see we can also use the fingerprint scanner to start a photo, to take a photo, and or start a video, okay? Then we can control our shutter sound. We got our location metadata, which I always recommend you turn off. That's why that's toggled off. Then right below that, you can flip your selfies when you're taking them with the front-facing camera. We got a preferred storage location for our photos and our videos. So once you install a micro SD card into the device, that setting will be active. Now you toggle it on, it will store all your photos and videos to the SD card. You toggle it off, it will store all your photos and videos to the internal storage. Okay? Now we already went over this one. You can use, well, we didn't really go over that. You can use a palm gesture with the front-facing camera to take a selfie. Okay? You can toggle this on to where you could tap anywhere on the screen to take a photo, similar to your Moto devices, so that's really cool. You can turn on your grid lines. Now it just has a 3x3 grid line here. There's no other grid line options you can use, so just so you can see, you turn on the grid, you got the 3x3 grid, and that's it. You turn it off, and you don't have any grid lines there. Okay? Now, I typically like to leave it on. I like the extra assistance. Then you can see we got the AI scene recognition and optimization. So you could toggle this off and on from here as you see fit. Then we got a watermark for our photos. Okay? Self-explanatory. Then we also have a watermark for our videos as well. But you can only change it depending on the mode that you're in. So we're in photo mode, so we can change the watermark for the photos. If I want to change the video watermark, we got to come out, go into videos, then go back in, and now I could change the watermark for the videos. Okay? So that's how you would change that. Alright? Jumping back in here, going back into the settings, you can also verify that in terms of video recording, 1080p, 30 FPS, that's all we got. And in terms of the codecs, we could do the efficient recording, so the compressed file size in the H.265. But if you do H.265 recording, you may or may not lose the audio on your video, depending on if the device you're watching the video back on is supported. So for best results, they actually recommend that you keep it at the H.264. This way you'll always get some really good video and you'll always have your audio. But there you can see it. You can shoot in the compressed H.265 or the regular H.264. So it's up to you. Okay? And that pretty much goes over all of the settings, guys and gals. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut in all the photo samples, and then we're going to cut in all the video samples, and then we're going to wrap the video up. So I hope you guys and gals enjoyed the rest of the video, and I will catch everyone at the end of the video. I'll see you guys on the other side. Peace. get into here today is the front and the rear facing video samples for the OnePlus Nord N100. And starting off here, we got the front facing, I believe it's 13 megapixel camera test. Oh no, it was 8. It's either 8 or 13. I have the correct annotation down below, but this is a front facing outdoor daytime good light sample of the front facing secondary camera on the OnePlus Nord N100. Nice little stationary clip here. So let me know what y'all think of this. Also, there is no external audio hooked up, so let me know what y'all think of the microphones as well. Now looking through the viewfinder, I gotta let y'all know, this actually looks really, really good. The skin tones are looking good, the focus is looking good, the overall detail is looking good, and it's about a foot away from me here. So I don't want to knock it over, but yeah, it's about a foot away from me. So not bad at all. Alright, let's spin the cameras around and start testing out the rear facing primary. Alright everyone, so we just finished up the front facing footage with the front facing 8 megapixel camera on the OnePlus Nord N100 in 720p, 30 FPS. So now it's only right that we test out the rear facing 13 megapixel primary camera on the Nord N100. So let's jump into our typical testing. Once again, this is in 720p, 30 FPS with no external microphone hooked up. So let's see how this does. Let's start off with the pans. Alright, so we're going to pan from here all the way through to right about there and back. We're going to do this 3 times. So that was number 1. Here we go with number 2. And there is no stabilization of any kind with the OnePlus camera application. So your boy got shaky hands, so I do apologize if the footage is shaky. Okay. That's 2. Here we go with the last one. That's 3. Alright. Bring it to the center. Now let's go ahead and test the exposure. So we're going to pan up and down to the ground. And when we test the exposure, what we're looking for is a nice smooth transition from the lighter areas to the darker areas with minimal or no exposure blowout. So what we would really want is no blowout whatsoever. But if the cameras do blow out, we want them to recover as quickly and as evenly as possible. Here we go. Let's get into this testing now. Let's do this 3 times. So now we're focused on the tree, and we're going to pan down to the ground. Boom. And now let's go back up to the tree. And that's 1. Okay, what do y'all think? Going back down to the ground. Coming back up to the tree. That's 2. Going back down to the ground. Coming back up to the tree. That's 3. What do y'all think? Now I did see a little bit of exposure blowout, but it did recover very evenly and very quickly. So not bad in my opinion. Not bad at all. Now let's go straight into the focus testing. Now the OnePlus Nord N100 has continuous autofocus as well as tap to focus. We're going to test out both. So starting off, we're going to test out the continuous autofocus first. So we're going to pick our 3 focal subjects. We're going to use the bushes off to my left. We're going to use the big tree in the center. And then the pillar off to my right. All right, and we're going to run through this test 2 times each. Alright, y'all let me know how you feel the cameras do in both of these scenarios. So continuous autofocus first. Here we go. Bushes off to the left. That actually looks really good. Tree in the middle. That also looks really good. Okay. And pillar off to my right. That also looks really good. A little shaky, like I can see all the minute shakes without any type of stabilization. Now you can get electronic image stabilization if you sideload a third-party camera app, or if you offload your footage into Google Photos. It has stabilization software in it that will help you stabilize the footage. So although the cameras don't have any type of stabilization on them, there are ways to get that stabilization. Alright, just saying. So let's do this again. Bushes, that looks good. Tree, that also looks good. Pillar, that also looks really good. Okay, let me adjust my grip. And let's do it over with the tap to focus now. So bushes, tap, locked up. Man, that focusing speed was really quick. Bushes, tap, locked up. Again, super quick. And pillar, tap, locked up. And what's nice about the pillar is it really had to adjust the exposure as well. So not only did it have to lock the focus, but it did have to adjust the exposure for the pillar and the scene. So not bad at all. Let's do it one more time. Bushes, tap, locked up. Tree, tap, locked up. And pillar, tap, locked up. So really fast overall focus in my opinion. Really fast overall focus indeed. Now let's line up for the zoom testing and wrap this footage up. So now what I really like about the OnePlus cameras before we get into the final test is they have a nice little white box that lets you know when you've locked focus. Okay, so you tap, it locks focus, and then if you want to lock focus and exposure, you just press and hold, and then you'll get a nice indicator on the screen. It will let you know AE is auto exposure locked, and then AF is auto focus locked. So you'll get that pop up on the screen, and then also you'll get a nice padlock inside of the white box that indicates both the focus and the exposure are locked. And then right alongside that white box with the padlock, you'll get a nice little exposure slider. So if I slide down, you'll see we can underexpose. And if I slide up, you'll see we can overexpose. So you can really dial in the scene to what you think is best. So right about there seems perfect to my eyes. So I like that. Really clean, really straightforward indicators in the user interface that make it really easy to understand what's going on, so the user can really focus on dialing in the shot that they want. Okay, so I like that feature. I like the overall look and the ease of it, so I wanted to take this time to point it out. So now let's get into the zoom testing. Now another thing that I also like about the OnePlus software is that you got your pinch to zoom, so we could pinch in and zoom in, and pinch out and zoom out, and we can also use the volume rockers to zoom in 0.1 increments. Now the reason why I like this is because with the typical Android software you get 0.3 increments to zoom in, but with the OnePlus software you get 0.1 increments to zoom in. So we can keep zooming in by 0.1, or we can press and hold to zoom in quicker, all the way up to 6 times digital zoom. So this is maximum zoom here. Okay? Good stuff indeed. Check out the colors, check out the detail, check out the stabilization. Now in all honesty, I would recommend that you stay right around 2 times zoom. So this right here, if you want to zoom into your subject, this is the perfect balance between detail and colors in my opinion. If you want to get closer still, you need to just physically move closer to your subject at this point. So honestly, I wouldn't recommend zooming in past 2 times zoom. Alright? And that being said, the OnePlus, as with the stock Pixel software, has a real quick zoom slider in here that you can use. So you can see up on the screen in a white ball or inside of a clear white ball, it will tell you what zoom level you're at. And if you tap on that, it will zoom you out to 1 times. And if you tap on it again, it will zoom you into 2 times. So they have a really quick zoom in shortcut right there, similar to what the Pixel stock camera application has. So really good feature overall in my opinion as well. Alright, so let's zoom it back out. And this concludes the first part of testing with the OnePlus Nord N100 and its primary 13 megapixel and its secondary 8 megapixel front facing cameras. Alright everyone, and now we're testing out the front and the rear facing cameras on the OnePlus Nord N100 indoors daytime low light. So starting off the indoor daytime low light testing, here we are testing out the front facing 8 megapixel camera. Make sure I get it right this time. This video is being recorded in 720p at 30 FPS with no external microphone hooked up. So please let me know what you think of the overall video quality as well as the overall stabilization and the overall audio. Alright, so real quick stationary front facing footage here. Indoors daytime low light 720p. Alright, and honestly, this is definitely struggling a little bit. Let me see if I add some more light. Let me turn on the smart studio lights here. Yeah, that kind of helps. Kind of. And then if I turn it off, there's a little bit of a difference. Yeah. But anyways, let me know what y'all think, okay? What do y'all think of this front-facing 8 megapixel camera footage? What do y'all think of the audio? Let me know down below. Alright, let me spin the cameras around. We're going to do some verifications and get into the rear-facing indoor daytime low-light testing. I will be right back with y'all. See y'all in a second. Alright everyone, and now we are back in. And we're going to try and get this done real quick. So again, this is an indoor daytime low light test with the rear facing camera this time. Rear facing 13 megapixel camera on the OnePlus Nord N100. And this is being recorded in 720p at 30 FPS with no external microphone hooked up. So y'all can see if I pan over to the window here, this is the only lighting source that we have in the room today. There's no other external lighting source here. So if I pan over, y'all can see it's dark in the room aside from the light coming in through the window here. So real quick verification. Now let's angle everything up in the traditional reviewer style approach and jump straight into the video. So let's straighten this on. That looks good. And now let's pan everything down. Alright, that also looks good. And then let's tighten everything up. Alright, so nice and tight. And we are in business. So nice top-down angle here. Boom. And here you guys and gals have it. So now the camera is set up in the traditional reviewer style angle. And again, this is an indoor daytime low light test at 720p, 30 FPS with no external microphone hooked up. So how do y'all feel the cameras on the OnePlus Nord N100 are doing in this lighting scenario? Check it out. Check out the text on the keyboard here. Check out the letters. How clear is that? How legible is that? Now, in all honesty here, looking through the viewfinder, this doesn't look too legible to my eyes. I will definitely want to add a little bit more light to the scene, but y'all let me know. My eyes could just be bad. Let me know what you think. How clear does that look? Leave your feedback down below. Alright? Now, let's do some focus testing, and then we can wrap this video up. So let me grab something to focus on. Yeah, got the S7 active right here. Oh, it's a little dirty. Let me clean it off real quick. My microfiber cleaning cloth on deck here. Clean this off real quick. Boom. And we'll use the back of the device as a focal point. So here is the S7 active. How is the detail getting picked up there? How's the text on the back of the device? Let's try and get a nice close-up. Boom, that looks good actually. That looks real good. And now let's check the focusing speeds. So let's take it out and see how quickly it locks back up on the keyboard. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, out. Boom, that's actually really, really fast. Bring it back in, see how long it takes to lock back up. And we're locked back up. So how clear is that? How crisp is the text? Let's check the focusing speed one more time. So let's take it out. Boom. What do you think? What do you think? Now, a real quick comparison. Let's just throw on the studio lights real quick so y'all can spot the difference. And we'll redo the test one more time. So turning on the studio lights here. Boom. Now the studio lights are on. And honestly, the scene now looks a lot more usable in my opinion. Check out the text on the keyboard. Is that any more legible than before we turned the studio lights on? Check this out. So what do you think? What do you think? Same? Better? Worse? Let me know. Let me know. Now, let's redo the same focusing test with the device. Okay, so bringing it back in. Boom. What do you think? Let's get a nice close-up again. Boom. Right there. It locked focus so much faster now. And now let's test those focusing speeds again. So let's take it out. See how quickly it locks back up on the keyboard. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. Boom. That's actually almost instant. Let's do it one more time. Let's bring it back in and see how quickly it locks back on. A little bit of a struggle there. Boom, and we're back. Alright, what do y'all think? What do y'all think? Take it out again. Bam. Alright, so real quick, indoor, daytime, low light, comparing it to studio light test. Let me know what y'all think. How do you feel the camera's perform? Alright, everyone, and now we are back in testing out the front and the rear facing cameras on the OnePlus N100 or the OnePlus Nord N100. And this is nighttime artificial low light testing here, and this is with the front facing 8 megapixel camera in 720p at 30 fps with no external microphone hooked up. So y'all let me know, how do y'all think this looks? Now what's really neat here is we still do have some sort of controls over the cameras. So we can lock the focus on my face. So same as we can do on the rear. Lock that focus there. And then we can adjust the exposure. So we can underexpose, we can overexpose, or we can lock it into the scene. So let me dial it in. That actually looks really, really good. Alright? So the same controls we get on the rear facing camera are the same controls we get on the front facing camera. And I really got to give OnePlus credit for giving that uniformity, I was about to say uniformity across the front and the rear facing cameras. Alright, so real quick, front facing vlog style test. Let me know what y'all think. Now let's go ahead and spin the cameras around and test out the rear facing primary 13 megapixel camera in the same lighting scenario. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. See y'all in a second. Alright everyone, so as promised, we're trying to get this done quick, fast, and in a hurry here. So now we're testing out the 13 megapixel rear facing primary camera on the OnePlus Nord N100. And this is nighttime artificial low light. Okay? No external microphone hooked up. So let's do some quick verifications and jump straight into the testing. So panning over, y'all can indeed see it's nighttime over there. And the only light source we have is the overhead studio light lighting up the scene. So there's no light coming in through the window there, as y'all can see. Alright, so now let's pan everything over and let's angle it up into a traditional reviewer style approach. So make sure that's straight on. That looks good. And now let's angle it down. Okay. You loosen this up first. Alright, you know, when your hands are too big. Oh, wrong way. Wrong way. Okay, there we go. Alright, now we can angle this down. And let's keep going a little further. Alright, so right about there. That looks pretty good. Tighten this back up. Okay, so we're good there. And then we can back this up just a little bit. And bam, we're in business. So now the cameras are angled up into the traditional reviewer style approach. Let me know what y'all think. And again, this is nighttime artificial lighting, low light, 720p, 30 FPS. All right, so what do y'all think of this? Let's start off with the keyboard detail test first. So how's the texture on the keys there? How legible is it? Okay, let me know. Actually, yes, that looks pretty grainy through the viewfinder. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Okay. Let me know your thoughts on that one. And now, let's do some focus testing here. Now, I gotta admit to y'all, this doesn't look the best through the viewfinder. And honestly, when it looks like this is where I would want to add in another light source. But I have my room light set to the maximum brightness. And my other external light, the battery died. So this is all the light we have this evening. So this truly is a nighttime artificial lighting low light test. Other than that, I would need some more additional light coming in from the window there, but it's nighttime, so it is what it is. But let's do this focusing test nevertheless and see how it does. So bringing in the same focus subject from earlier today, the S7 Active here. Okay, check out the detail on that. Now, as I said, the lighting is not the best here, so it's not going to pick it up the best. Let's get it in. Let's try and get it to focus. And you can see the lack of light means that it's really going to struggle. Let's try and get a nice close-up there. Yeah, that's really hard to see through the viewfinder in my opinion there. Okay, so these are definitely the type of cameras where you're definitely going to need a minimum of good light, okay? In less than good light, you're going to see some struggling here from these cameras. But let's check the focusing speeds here. So let's take the phone out. Still relatively quick focus even in this lower lighting scenario. Let's bring the phone back in. Does take an extra second to lock the focus. Boom, there it is. And you can see the text is noticeable, but it's not too legible here. Especially comparing it to the footage from earlier today. That footage from earlier today was actually looking really good in this same lighting scenario. This one isn't looking as sharp to me. Okay, maybe it could be because I'm tired. Maybe it might look better after a little bit of post-processing. But that's just not looking as sharp to me as the earlier footage. But let me know your thoughts. One more focusing test and then we're out of here. So taking the phone out. Taking a really long time to relock the focus there. Y'all can see it needs a little assistance, so let's help it out. There we go. Wow, that one really struggled there. Alright, so this pretty much does it for the camera testing in 720p. Alright, how's everybody doing today? Welcome back to another video. And today we're doing some more camera sample testing with the front and the rear facing cameras on the OnePlus Nord N100. And this is being recorded in the Nord N100's maximum recording resolution for the front and the rear facing cameras. So this is being recorded with the front facing 8 megapixel camera in 1080p at 30 FPS. And we're also going to do some recording with the rear facing 13 megapixel camera in the same recording resolution. So starting off the testing here, we just got some nice stationary vlog style footage. We're out here by the pool today, and we're going to do our usual testing in shooting space number 2. Now, let me know what y'all think of this vlog style footage. Now, I can tell y'all off the bat, it's doing a great job keeping me in focus. It's actually doing a really great job with my skin tone, but it is blowing out the background behind me, all right? So I would say you definitely want to go in and you want to lock the focus, and then you want to adjust the exposure to try and recover some of that, right? If catching the background is important to you, all right? So something like that would do it. So you see we recover some of the background, but at the expense of losing what we have in the foreground. So the foreground is extremely dark now. But for all intents and purposes, if highlighting your subject and doing a vlog was important to you, then maybe you're okay with losing out on some of the background there. But I just wanted to show y'all that. So now let's reset it, okay? And make sure I'm back as being the subject or the focal point. And y'all can see it blows out the background yet again, okay? But once again, let me know what y'all think. Now, as with all of the testing here for the N100, the Nord N100, we're not using external audio. So all the footage you're seeing is coming directly from the cameras and directly from the onboard microphones on the device, okay? So let me know what you think of the camera quality as well as the overall microphone performance down below in the comments. As always, your feedback is greatly appreciated. Now let's spin the cameras around and do some rear-facing camera testing. I will be right back. I'll see y'all in a second. All right, everyone, and now we've spun the cameras around, and let's get into testing out the rear-facing primary 13 megapixel cameras, once again in 1080p at 30 FPS with no microphone hooked up. So let me know what y'all think of the stabilization and all that good stuff down below. Now let's dive straight into the testing here. Let's start off with the pans. And this is going to be particularly important because the OnePlus Nord N100 doesn't have any stabilization of any kind. So all my minute shakes are definitely going to be emphasized. So I do apologize about that. All right, but let's dive in. So we're going to pan from here. All right, all the way through to right about there and back. We're going to do this 3 times. Okay. So that's number 1. Here we go with number 2. And back. Here we go with number 3. Now it's making my arm cramp. Trying to keep my hands super steady. Trying to keep everything super smooth. So all those little extra shakes are not emphasized. Man, my hand is cramping up bad. But anything for you guys. Alright? Alright, and that's number 3 right there. Let's bring it back to the center. Now we're going to test the exposure by panning up and down from the pool heater to the pool deck. And now with exposure, what we're looking for is a nice smooth transition from the lighter areas to the darker areas with minimal exposure blowout. So let's see what happens. We're going to do this one 3 times as well. Here we go. So now we should be focused up on the pool heater, and let's pan down to the ground. Okay, and let's go back up. A little bit of blowout, but not bad. Go back down, that's 1. Coming back up, that's 2. Last one, down. Up. That's 3. So not bad at all. Now it does do what most cameras do, and it wants to lean the pool deck color to white. So you can see as I pan all the way down, it wants to make it a lighter brown, lighter white. But if we get it at the right light, which is right here, you can see it's a white rim with like an off eggshell brown or a tan going around the rest of the pool deck. So not bad. Typical camera performance when we talk about color science and white balance and exposure. But let me know what y'all think of those exposure controls down below. All right, now let's get into some focus controls here, or focus testing, not controls. We're gonna test out the autofocus and the tap to focus. So starting off with the autofocus first, we're gonna pick our 3 focal subjects. So we got that one pool folding chair over there off to my left. We got the long pool chair in the center here, slightly off to my right, okay? And then we got the mango tree way in the background over there, off to my far right. And these are gonna be our focal subjects. So starting off here, we're just gonna cycle through them using the continuous autofocus, and I want you guys and gals to let me know how you feel the continuous autofocus is doing. So this is putting all the work on the cameras themselves and the software. So all I'm doing is trying to line everything up, and y'all let me know if the cameras do a good job keeping everything in focus. So here we go. We're gonna do this 2 times and then switch to tap to focus. So starting off here with the folding pool chair, how does that look? Okay, going over to the long chair, okay, going over to the mango tree, all right, coming back over to the pool chair here, going over to the long chair, and then mango tree. All right. Now let me adjust my grip. Sorry for the shake. Ride with your boy. Let me adjust my grip so we can test out the tap to focus and see if there's any differences. So same 3 focal subjects. Here we go. Folding pool chair, tap, locked up. Now the focusing speed was really quick, and it did try to auto adjust the exposure, so you can see the exposure shifted too. But overall focusing speeds were really quick for that first test. Long pool chair, tap, locked up. That one was actually really quick. And then mango tree, tap, locked up, and I really like the exposure adjustment there. Really bringing out the leaves and emphasizing the tree. Really fast focus overall. Let's do it one more time. So folding pool chair, tap, locked up, okay. Long pool chair, tap, locked up, and then mango tree, tap, locked up. Really quick overall focus. I like it a lot. All right, now let's go ahead and pick something to focus on so we could test out the zoom. All right, so let's use the top of that house in the distance. Let me go ahead and lock the focus, lock the exposure, and dial in the exposure so it's accurate. So right about there is perfect. And now we're gonna begin zooming in. So not only do you have your pinch to zoom, okay, which can go all the way up to 6 times zoom, but you also have the ability to use the volume rockers to control the zoom, as well as you have a quick shortcut to punch you in to 2 times by tapping on that 1X, and it will jump to 2. All right, so I really do like the overall camera software on the OnePlus Nord N100, and I like all the shortcuts and capabilities that it offers. Okay, so starting off the zoom testing here, we're gonna start by putting it back to 1-time zoom. So this says no zoom on it whatsoever. Then we're gonna jump up to 2-time zoom here. Boom. And then let's keep going. So 2.5 right there. Okay, and that actually looks really good. Okay, 3.5 right there. Okay, and you can see we're starting to lose some detail. The colors are starting to get a little washed out. Okay, check out that stabilization. All right, Now 4.5. Good. And now maximum zoom. 6 times zoom. So you can see how grainy it's got. You can see how washed out it's got. And you can see the stabilization really suffers here. Alright. Alright. So let's zoom out now. And in all honesty, I would recommend you go in no further than 2 times zoom. 2 times zoom, in my honest opinion, looks really good. Okay? So y'all let me know, how did the cameras do? How was the overall detail retention? How was the overall stabilization? How was the focus? How was the exposure? How was the microphone performance? Let me know down below. Alright, let's zoom back out. Alright everyone, and now we are back in. This time we're testing out the front and the rear facing cameras on the OnePlus Nord N100. This is in maximum resolution on both cameras. So that's 1080p, 30 FPS with no external microphone hooked up. And this is indoors, daytime, low light. So starting off here, we're testing out the front facing 8 megapixel camera, indoors, daytime, low light, 1080p, 30 FPS. Nice front facing stationary vlog style footage here. Let me fix my shirt. So y'all let me know what you think. How does this overall footage look? Now I gotta tell y'all, if I'm being honest, looking through the viewfinder here, this looks pretty good. This looks really good. Really good indeed. Okay? Nice balanced skin tone color here. Nice balanced focus. Hopefully the audio is good, but based on what I'm seeing through the viewfinder, this looks really good. Alright? So let me know what y'all think of this front facing clip. And now let's go ahead and spin the cameras around and test out the rear facing primary 13 megapixel camera. Alright everyone, and now we are back in, and as I said in the previous clip, we're testing out the primary 13 megapixel rear facing camera on the OnePlus Nord N100. This is in maximum resolution, so 1080p, 30 FPS with no external microphone hooked up. So let me know what y'all think of this overall video sample. Alright, let's do some quick verifications and get into the testing, because we're running out of daylight right now. So this is really going to be an indoor daytime low light test. Alright, so let's pan over. And as we pan over, you can see the only thing we have lighting up the scene here today is the external light coming in through the window. So you can see if I pan over more into the room, there's no other light sources on here, as you can see. So the only light we have coming in is the light through the window here, just for verification purposes. Alright, let's pan back over and let's angle everything up in the traditional reviewer style approach. So let's straighten this up. Okay, that looks good. And now let's angle everything down. Alright, that looks good as well. Try to do this to where y'all don't see my socks, because yes, your boy does not have on shoes today. So if you see my socks, I do apologize. It is what it is. Okay? And that actually looks pretty good. Let's back up a little bit. Boom. And then let's pull out the table here. Actually, yeah, I can angle down a little bit more. So let's angle down a little bit more. Boom. There we go. There we go. So now we're angled down really nicely. Let me back up a little bit. Okay. And let's straighten this back up. Okay. And that actually looks pretty good. Pretty good indeed. Alright. So here y'all can see this is indoors, daytime, low light with the primary 13 megapixel camera. And this is at the maximum resolution, 1080p, 30 FPS. Okay, so let me know what y'all think. Let's do some quick detail and focus testing here. So check out the text on the keyboard. How sharp is it? How legible is it? Let me know how you feel these cameras are performing in this lighting scenario here. Okay? Get y'all a nice close-up. How sharp is that text? Or lack thereof? Okay? Let me know. Let me know. Alright. Now let's do a quick focusing test. Let me grab our focal subject from the last videos. So S7 active right here. Check out the textures. Textures are actually looking pretty good. Let's get a nice focus in on the text. Alright. Text is actually looking decent. It's not as sharp as it can look. At least that's what I'm seeing through the viewfinder, but it's looking decent. There we go. Now the focus actually locked up good there. Now let's do a focusing test. So let's take the phone out and see how quickly it locks back up on the keyboard. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Boom. That was some really quick focusing speed there. Let's bring the phone back in. See how quickly it locks back up on the text. Wow, that was actually really, really fast. Alright. One more time. See how fast it locks up on the keyboard. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Not bad. Not bad at all. So really, really quick. Really quick indeed. And then lastly, as I did the other day, let's see how it compares to turning on the studio light. So this is going to be a combination of daytime low light along with the studio artificial lighting here, and let's see how it does. So let me fire up my studio light application and we're going to turn it on. Boom. So now the studio light is on, and let's do the focusing test one more time. So bringing in the phone. Boom. Let's get nice and close up on the text. Wow, it looks good. That looks real good. Tell me, y'all, how legible is that? Let's see how long it takes to lock back up on the keyboard now. So 3, 2, 1. And we're back on the keyboard. So really, really quick. One more time. Bring the phone back in. Lock up on the text. Take it out. Lock up on the keyboard. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Alright, so real quick comparison between the combination of artificial studio lighting and natural daylight compared to, let me turn it off, just the indoor daytime low light. So there you go, we cut off these studio lights here. Let me know what y'all think. And now we are back in. Once again, we're testing out the front-facing and rear-facing cameras on the OnePlus Nord N100. This time we're testing out the cameras in nighttime artificial lighting here. So starting off the testing here, we're testing out the front-facing 8 megapixel camera in 1080p at 30 FPS with no external microphone hooked up. And this is a nice stationary vlog style video at nighttime artificial lighting. So let me know what you guys and gals think of the overall audio. Let me know what y'all think of the overall stabilization and the overall video quality. Leave all that feedback down below. Okay? Now, looking through the viewfinder here, this actually looks kind of decent. It's a little bit overexposed, so I could tell it's having a little bit of an issue with the white walls behind me. But other than that, it's kind of matching up perfectly with the lighting here this evening, and it's doing a halfway good job. But I can definitely tell you, looking at it here, these are definitely starting to look like those cameras that are only going to give you some really good performance in good lighting. So you're definitely going to need a minimum of good lighting to get some really good performance out of these cameras. Anyways, real quick front-facing vlog style stationary test on the front-facing 8 megapixel camera. So as promised now, here we are, spun the cameras around, and let's do some similar testing with the rear-facing primary cameras on the OnePlus Nord N100. Once again, this video clip is being recorded in 1080p, 30 FPS, with no external microphone hooked up, and this is being recorded in nighttime artificial lighting scenario here. So check that out. Y'all can see there is absolutely no light coming in through the window, and the only light source we're using this evening is my overhead smart artificial room lights. All right, so now let's put everything down. Let's angle everything up into a traditional reviewer style approach, and let's get into the rest of the testing here. Okay, so give me 1 second. Okay, now let's angle this up. That looks good. So now let's tighten this up. Actually, that's a little too low. Let's angle it back just a little bit. Alright, boom, that's perfect. Okay, nice and tight. Lock that into place. And let's angle this forward just a little bit. And there we have it. So now we got that nice top-down reviewer angle here. And let me know what y'all think. How are the cameras doing in this lighting scenario? So let me hold up my keyboard here. How's the sharpness of the text? How's the legibility of the text? Okay? Let me know what y'all think. Alright. Put that down there. Now, let's go ahead and do some focus testing. So let me go ahead and break out the same focal subject from earlier, the S7 Active here. And let's see how the cameras do in this lower light scenario. So let's see if we can get them to lock focus. Yeah, it definitely looks like it's struggling there. Okay. And now let's see how long it takes to lock focus back on the keyboard. So taking it out. 3, 2, 1. Pretty decent, pretty decent. One more time. See how fast it locks up on here. Now, that looks okay, but it definitely needs more light in my opinion. Especially comparing it to the video footage from earlier. It's definitely struggling in this lower light scenario. Let's check the focus one more time. Boom. Not bad. Not bad at all. Even in lower light. So, real quick, nighttime artificial low light camera testing with the rear-facing 13 megapixel camera on the OnePlus Nord N100. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to think about the footage, and tomorrow I'm going to come back with you guys and gals and give y'all my overall final thoughts on all the photo samples that I've taken, give y'all my overall final thoughts on all the video samples in the different lighting scenarios, and let y'all know, in my opinion, if these are some good cameras. Let y'all know how I feel OnePlus did in terms of the camera software and the overall camera experience on this relatively inexpensive device. Alright? So, I will be right back with y'all with my final thoughts or my closing thoughts on the cameras on the OnePlus Nord N100. I'll see y'all in a little bit. Alright everyone, and now we are back in testing out the primary and front-facing cameras, well, primary camera on the OnePlus Nord N100. So I wrapped up the coverage the other day, and I was gonna close it out, and I'm thinking, no, it wouldn't be right unless we close it out in the big yard for the camera test like we always do. So I figured, even though y'all will get some extra 1080p coverage, now we can close it out properly how we always do. So let's once again run through the testing outside in the big yard here in 1080p 30 fps with no external microphone hooked up, and see how the cameras on the OnePlus Nord N100 perform, or camera, because we're testing out the primary 13 megapixel camera on the OnePlus Nord N100 perform. Alright, so let's do our pans, let's do all of our usual testing, and then we'll wrap up the video with a vlog style test on the rear facing camera. Alright, so I hope y'all enjoy, and let's jump right into the testing. So starting off here, we're going to do our usual pans. So we're going to pan from here all the way through to right about there. And it was super sunny, but as I pushed record, of course, the sun had to go away. So it's kind of overcast right now, but we'll see if the sun comes back out. So that's one. Let's go with number two. That's number two. And then here we go with number three. Okay, bring it back to the center. Now let's do our exposure testing. So we're gonna lock on the tree, the big tree there in the distance. Let's lock onto that. And we're gonna pan up and down and see how the exposure adjusts. And again, what we're looking for is a nice smooth transition from the lighter areas of the scene to the darker areas of the scene with minimal to no exposure blowout. And if the cameras do blow out, we want them to recover as evenly and as quickly as possible. Here we go. We're going to do this test 3 times. So going down. Okay, coming up. That's 1. Going down. Coming up. That's 2. Going down. Coming up. That's 3. So what do y'all think? How do you feel the cameras performed for that exposure test? Now we're not going to waste any time. We're going to go straight into the focus test after I put the focus back to auto. So we're going to tap out, and now the focus is back to auto, and we're going to go back into a focus test here. We're going to pick 3 focal subjects. So I like that trailer over here off to my left. That looks good. We're going to use the big tree in the center. That also looks good. And we're going to use the blue Jetta off to my right. Okay, so starting off the testing, we're going to just do autofocus testing. We're going to let the cameras do all of the work. Then I'm going to readjust my grip, and we're going to go directly into the tap to focus testing. We're going to do this 2 times on each. So let's begin. Panning to my left. Locked up on the trailer, or I hope we're locked up on the trailer. Coming to the center. We should be lined up on the tree. Going to the right. Should be on the blue Jetta there. That's 1. What do you think? What do you think? Coming back over. Back on the trailer. Back to the big tree. And then back to the blue Jetta. Okay, so how do y'all feel it did with the continuous autofocus? Let me adjust my grip, and let's do it again, tap to focus style. So trailer, tap, locked up. That was pretty much instant, but then again, we're out here in what is almost perfect lighting, so it should perform at its best, but that was almost instant. It locked up right away. Big tree, tap, locked up. Okay, fairly instant. And then blue Jetta, tap, locked it up. All right, once again, fairly instant. And the sun is starting to come back out. So yeah, how y'all gonna get the absolute best performance out of this device? So coming back over, trailer, tap, locked up. Big tree in the center, tap, locked up. And then blue Jetta off to my right, tap, locked up. All right, really fast overall focusing speeds in my opinion. All right, now let's not waste any time. Y'all have seen this before. You see the gray electrical pole with the power conduit on top of it. We're gonna use that as our focus point. So let's go ahead and lock the focus, lock the exposure. Let's dial it in properly here. Okay, dial that in. Good. Now we're gonna just zoom in, and for the zoom test, it's gonna test everything. So the stabilization, the detail retention, the autofocus, the exposure. Y'all let me know how it does. So we're not gonna waste any time. We're gonna use the shortcut, and we're gonna punch into 2 times right away. So 2 times zoom right there. Okay? Then we're gonna use the volume rockers to do the rest of the zooming. So going up to 3.5 times. .5 times zoom right there. And man, that got grainy quick. But the color's looking decent. They're looking fairly washed out, but decent. Let's go up to 4.5 times. Alright, 4.5 times. Oh yes. It's a pixelated jumbled mess right here. Okay? But the stabilization is looking good. Alright, let's go maxed out. 6 times digital zoom here. Yeah, it's a mess. Let's get out of here. Alright, so real quick zoom test in there. Let me know what y'all think. Now, I'm just going to spin the cameras around. We're going to use the main camera again. We're going to close the video out vlog style, and I'm going to give y'all my overall final thoughts. So I will be right back. Let me set this up. Let's spin this around and close the video out. See y'all in a second. Alright everyone, and now we are back in, and I just want to summarize and give y'all my closing thoughts on the overall camera performance and my overall opinions on the OnePlus Nord N100 itself. So starting off here for this section of the video, my closing thoughts on the overall camera performance. Now, I found that after looking at a bunch of photo samples and all of my video samples in the different lighting scenarios, how do I feel about these cameras? These are some really good cameras. As long as you make sure that you're getting some really good or good to really good lighting, you should be able to get some really good performance out of these cameras in terms of photos and in terms of videos, all right? And the same thing can be said for the overall audio capture capabilities. As long as you make sure that, you don't even have to make sure, the overall microphone performance on these is really good, okay? So, can I recommend this device strictly based off of the cameras and the overall camera performance? I would have to say yes, okay? Now, that being said, can I recommend that you pick up the OnePlus Nord N100 overall? Because I know there's a large majority of my audience that just watches the camera reviews and then they call it a day. So I'm going to add my overall opinions of the device at the end of the camera review video. So can I recommend that y'all pick up the OnePlus Nord N100 here in mid to late 2021? Well, I'd have to say yes. If you're in the market for a device with great battery life, an overall fluid and snappy experience with full customizations, and you're not trying to break the bank, okay? And you're okay with the fact that you're not getting top-notch cameras or phenomenal cameras, you're just getting good to really good cameras, then yes, I could recommend that y'all pick the OnePlus Nord N100 up, especially at the price point that it's currently going for. If you can find it ranging in price from $100 to at most $200, yes, I can recommend that you pick it up. That being said, I would also recommend that you go for the globally unlocked version or the GSM unlocked version, or you get the device directly from OnePlus themselves. Now, I got my device from Amazon, so it was sold directly from Amazon. I got it in brand new, mint condition, and I paid a little bit over $195, including all of the accessories. I believe that's what it came up to. Now, the device itself was about, I think, 183 or 185, something like that. I think it was like 185, and then I added in the accessories and it came up to like 194 and change. So That's the pricing that I paid for it. I'll put the screenshot up in post. As a matter of fact, nah. We'll save the screenshot for the full review. Y'all just gonna have to take my word for it, or you're gonna have to swing by when the full review of this device drops, where I'll have all the screenshots so y'all can check my work. Alright? But that being said, I would recommend that you get the GSM unlocked variant, or you get the globally unlocked variant from Amazon or from OnePlus directly, because I gotta be 100% honest with y'all, I was extremely skeptical when I picked up this device, because I like to watch YouTube. I like to read reviews, whether it be video reviews or written reviews. I like to read and I like to watch. I'm a visual audio type of person, so I really retain my information when I watch and listen. So I like to watch a lot of reviews. I like other people's opinions, and there's a lot of negative press on the OnePlus Nord N100, and I found that a lot of the reviewers, or a lot of the press that reported negative things about this device, a lot of them were having carrier locked versions of the device, right? And a lot of the reviewers or press that got the globally unlocked versions, or got the GSM unlocked versions, or got the devices directly from OnePlus, they aren't really having that many issues. So I would recommend that y'all go with the GSM or globally unlocked versions, and I would recommend that you get it from Amazon or OnePlus directly. Alright? Okay. So, once again, can I recommend this device to y'all? I would have to say yes. Alright, that pretty much does it for this overall full camera review. As always, I hope you guys and gals find the video helpful and or enjoyable, and this video will be timestamped for your convenience. So as always, please feel free to jump around to different parts of the video that you would like to know more about. All the timestamps will be linked up down below in the video description. Alright, hope everyone is having a great day. Hope you guys and gals are staying safe out there, and I will catch everyone in the next one. Have a good one, y'all. We are out of here. Full review coming soon. We're almost done. Peace, y'all. Have a great day.